Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I will be fully reviewing the SDP-58 Keana, the Tier 8 Tech Tree Polish tank destroyer. A vehicle that seems incredibly strong on paper, and I bet even stronger in practice. By the time you're done watching today's video, you'll know everything you're going to need to about this tank. Now we're going to start off briefly showcasing the armor profile of this vehicle because it has crazy good armor. This here is an IS-5 using calibrated shells with 232 millimeters of standard pen. Look at the tank. It's just red. The whole upper plate is upwards of 290 millimeters thick. The lower plate has a thin bar that's around 230, so just slightly angling the tank, that becomes red. And all the way on the bottom, it also has an auto ricochet, which is around 240 thick. So the only weak point is this lower plate. And if you're able to hide that, I mean, good luck. Now, if you're loading calibrated shells, it is able to cut through the upper plate, but that's only on flat ground. If you're using the 6 degrees of gun depression the Keana has, it's over 330 millimeters of effective armor, meaning that it's physically impossible for any tier 8 to actually cut through this thing using gun depression. On flat ground, no standard shells will, but premium shells will be able to cut through this tank. We can see the side armor is very strong. It does have a hatch, but it's not really a huge weak point. And when it comes to the gun, this thing is incredibly scary. We're just going to very quickly equip this vehicle. And now that it's fully equipped, we can see, first of all, the gun has 3,350 DPM, making it by far one of the highest effective DPMs in the tier. Not only does it have crazy good DPM, but it has 476 damage per shot within 50 meters. That's crazy. I mean, you're sitting at an 8.5 second reload for 480 damage per shot. Now, if you are shooting further away, this is the dynamic mechanic I was talking about. So within 50 meters, you have a lot of alpha, 476. 120 meters, it's 408. 120 to 200, it is 340. And then at furthest distance, it's 272. But the thing that's weird about this tank is that even though at lowest damage, you'd think, oh, it's going to be awful. It's actually got 1900 DPM still. I mean, that's fine. It's not good, but it's not bad either. It's the same as any Soviet Tier 8 heavy, except you still have crazy good armor. Now, mobility-wise, the tank isn't the fastest. It goes 36, and while it has an okay power-to-weight ratio, it's definitely nothing super mobile. When it comes to this vehicle's gun, it has really, really good pen values, which are all the way up here. It's got 263 on the standard, and then the gold is 326. So this thing's not going to be bouncing many shells as you can imagine. It's going to be hitting really, really hard. Not only that, but gun handling wise, it's average, I'll be honest, but it's not bad, right? 0.308 dispersion makes it pretty poor, but because the on-movement dispersion itself isn't too bad, I don't think it'll be the worst. That's what I'll say. I mean, the turret traverse, which is the gun traverse, is pretty bad. So if you're constantly moving your gun around, it's going to be very common to miss some of your shots. But as long as you're sitting still and you're aiming in, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now, I like this whole line, and the reason why is because it rewards people that are playing aggressive, and it punishes people that are playing passive. There are so many tank destroyer players out there who drive passive, and, I see it all the time. You see a T110E3 or a Minotauro camping in spawn, and you're like, bro, what the heck are you doing? Why did you grind all the way down this line to then literally do nothing in camp and spawn? Nobody knows. But that's where the Keana is different. This vehicle will fully punish players like that. And it's why I think that this line is going to be a really fun one for me to mess around with. And it's also going to be great to go up against because any of those players that like camping aren't going to do well. Now you might say, Droodles, what about the people that YOLO? And that is a serious problem, right? This tank is not, or it's meant to play aggressive. So it is scary. The whole line is scary. The tier 10 does 700 damage per shot with a 10-second reload. I mean, that's insane. So that is one aspect that's a downside, right? If you get a TVP player to start driving this tank, you might be in for a bit of trouble. But in general, I do really like the way Wargaming decided to balance these vehicles. I think they're very fun to drive. So this game, we can see that there's a Stridsvon 81 up top, and then the IS-6 was spotted in mid. I'm just going to keep moving up here until we eventually run into the enemy. I mean, That's really all I can do. We got the 252 spotted. We got the IS-5 spotted. It'll be interesting to see the damage drop off at a distance like this. Let's aim it on the defender. Aiming. And I'm not going to bother shooting high explosive. 365 damage. You know what? That's pretty fine for the most part. The interesting thing about this vehicle is that... Oh, there you go. Is that the high explosive does the same damage no matter what distance you're at. So if you're super far away or super close, you're going to roll the exact same damage. I-6 got shot once. We got the Keana in the back. Got the AMX in the back. Not able to shoot that AMX just yet, but I was really hoping we could pen that guy with a high explosive. Unfortunately, we were not able to. However, it really shouldn't matter because we're going to get behind the IS-5. I don't know what the heck was going on. Did you guys see my camera bugging out there? That was weird. Either way, let's move up. At this point, the enemy team only has 4 tanks left, and one of them's not even that healthy. We do have the 252, and maybe we can get our full DPM just dumping into the rear of that guy. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to go for it. Hopefully that AMX... we don't have a choice. We have to shoot that AMX. Turn, 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 fire. Okay, there you go. I loaded a high explosive to guarantee the pen as well, but you can't take those risks sometimes. We're going to aim it on the side of the 252, and bonk. Dang, dude. That was the worst level of RNG I could have asked for. Let's just face hug this guy. I think that's probably going to be the best play. Wow, we actually can't pen that Keana at all with standard. That's crazy how much armor that thing has. I mean, it's honestly shocking how well armored the Keana is. Now we have the 252 right over here. We're aiming on the lower plate, and boom, there you go, 395. We're up to 2,400 damage, which is already really good. And obviously, with our Defender Mark 1 on reload, we can get behind this guy, load in another shell, 459 damage. That puts us up to 2,800. And then the 3, 2, 1, and boom. We didn't get the clear, but still a really good game. First of all, you got to see the armor. We aimed it on that enemy Keana. It was completely red. Even looking down on the upper plate, the armor was totally red. And not only that, but you saw the DPM, right? It's an 8.5 second reload for 480 alpha. I mean, we did 2,900 and barely even broke a sweat. If we were given the ability to pen that side of the 252 earlier, we would have completely broken 3K without even worrying slightly. So it's a fantastic showcase of just how dangerous this thing is when used properly. But obviously, that's just one game. So let's see if we can get one more battle in the Keana, and if it stands up as well as it did in the first game. But I'm pretty confident it will. I mean, I've had my opinions pretty solid since I saw the line a couple months back. I said the tier 8 through tier 10 look pretty strong to OP, because you saw exactly why. When you get to close that distance, you are able to just fully take advantage of everything in front of you. And there's not much you can really do to counter it. I mean, pretend you're a Soviet heavy, right? You're sitting at 1900 DPM, and you're loading gold to pen this thing. So now you're sitting at like 1600 DPM. And in return, you have a vehicle that's penning you every shot, out-trading you by over 150 damage. And then it's also able to possibly get bounces from you. I mean, it's just crazy. It really is. The average Soviet heavy is around a 12-second reload, and this thing has 8.5. Just think about that. So let's head over to base A, and we will see what we can do here. So let's move up. We're up to 35, 36. Now, traverse speed, by the way, pretty good on these tanks. Not bad at all, which is a little surprising. I expected these tanks to be really slow in that regard to balance them out. Now, obviously, we can see in general, the gun's not the best on move, but that's fine. Doesn't need to be. We just need to chill right here, and there you go. Enemy VZ-44-1 is shot. I'm just hoping that our lower plate is hidden. We do get penned. I'm not even sure what penned me, but I am going to back up just slightly. I don't want to obviously over-angle it. Dang, dude. I don't even know where we got penned. I really don't. Where did we get penned? Did we get hatched? We did. Twice? That's crazy. There's no way that I got hatched twice, dude. I cannot believe that. Out of all the shots I expected to damage me, I did not expect to see 2 shells in the hatch. What the heck, bruh? I mean, I'd expect it if it was like, you know, an inaccurate Soviet heavy, or an accurate tank, but an inaccurate vehicle hitting that? That's a little wild. I'm a little worried about that T-25 too, but we do have the VZ over here, which we're going to aim in on, and boom, 510. I mean, think about that. That's still a pretty nasty roll, everything considered. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, this tank, even though it does lose damage, it still doesn't really have much of that big a damage drop-off when you compare it to the rest of the tanks in this line. So we have that BZ, which I'm hoping will pull ahead again here. But even if they don't, it's really not that big of a problem for me. We're going to aim it on the lower plate. Unfortunately, it bounced, but... Oh, we got the T-25-2 over here. That's actually a potential problem. I'm not worried about the T-25-2 at this angle. Oh my god, dude hatched me again. There's no way that these players are constantly hatching me. I refuse to believe this. I refuse. There you go. I had to hide my hatch around this corner, and now we got the this player over here. Thankfully, we should be okay to take them out of the game. Well, evidently, guys, I lied. Apparently, the hatch is a weak spot. I didn't think it was because it looks pretty dang small to me, but I guess it is a weak point. Either way, we have the enemy Skoda around this corner, and we're going to get a nice 531. And that's the crazy part. Even in this game, where we somehow got hatched 3 times from 2 Soviet heavies, we still ended up dealing 3,300 damage. I mean, the damage output is just crazy on this thing. The moment you close that gap, it's just damage, damage, damage. So there you go. We aced the tank. We did 3,300 damage, and obviously top in the team. Definitely a little bit goofy there. I still don't understand how these players were hatching me, to be entirely real. I just don't understand it. I mean, to me, that hatch is tiny, dude. They were hitting this. Like, I don't know. I would have just loaded gold and try to pen the upper plate, but I don't know. I guess they just got really, really lucky. I still don't consider the hatch to be a major weak point. I just think they got really lucky. But either way, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.